Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Entertainment Expansion. We are your hosts, Tyler Callahan and Mike Ferrante. Mike, how you doing this week?
Zoned in, Tyler. I'm zoned in and chilling.
You had me going there for a second. I thought you weren't going to be chilling, but
Oh, I'm
threw it in at
still
the last second.
chilling.
Well, I know you'll be chilling after what you got today. What did you get for all the people listening?
Well, I just happened to come across the platinum trophy for Modern Warfare. Just happened to
How
find it.
very convenient,
Yeah.
because that is exactly what we'll be talking about today. Due to the lack of movie stuff right now, we thought we'd take a quick detour into some video games because if you haven't heard, Call of Duty may be back with Modern Warfare. And no, while it may be related, it is not a reboot or prequel to the first Modern Warfare from over 10 years ago. This is still made by Infinity Ward from Activision, but it does take a lot of the characters and ideas and themes from the Modern Warfare series, but makes a new, fresh story. Mike, is it all right if I explain a little bit of story details and we'll see what we like about it or didn't?
Yeah, that's fine with me. You are such a wonderful storyteller.
Why, thank you. So this one, a lot like the back how the first one was set in that modern day 10 years ago. This one is set in 2019 with some of the dates in the campaign matching up to this week as of recording. But basically, Captain John Price is in the game. He still works with SAS and he is doing his own missions with his own people. And he gets brought in because some gas was stolen from the Russians. And that brings him to England. There's terrorist attacks in England, and it brings him to the Middle East. He's got to work with a CIA dude named Alex. He's got to work with freedom fighters. And it does, and we will go into spoilers soon. So if you're worried about that, you might want to leave now. But the story is, I personally felt, was a lot more grounded and realistic in today's setting, specifically with the proxy war. It relates a lot to how America and Russia are playing with Syria right now. You know, we're technically at war with Russia and Syria, but it's not like a country to country war. It's like we're helping other people fight other people. So I'm glad to take inspiration from that. But Mike, what did you think of the story for Modern Warfare?
Well, if we're going to be honest here, I thought it was one of the best stories in a Modern Warfare game since the original. Well, let me rephrase. One of the best stories in Call of Duty since the original Modern Warfare trilogy. It's a lot more real. There's a lot more disturbing things that kind of goes on. So you got to be ready for that.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you. Ever since Black Ops 2, the only game that Call of Duty has had that hasn't had a good story was Infinite Warfare. And I know it's not a respected game, but it had a damn good story. Modern Warfare is up there with a good story for the most part. And it does harken back to the original trilogy. And I feel like whoever is there at Infinity Ward now did a pretty good job getting those feelings back and added new stuff too, especially there's two missions like it where it's just night vision, you're clearing a house. They're very, very tense the first time you play it.
Well, that wasn't really the first mission, but yeah, you're tense.
No, no, the first time that you play those missions, like we're going through them now to get the trophies, but it's not as tense. But the first time you get
Yeah.
there, you know, can be a bit tense. And you're right, there was definitely some more darker, like kind of like shocking moments in the game.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm a little annoyed because, when the game was announced a few months ago, the media, now that we know what the game was, the media was shown the first clearing the house scene in England, and they were shown the scene in the flashback with the freedom fighter as a young girl having to kill the Russian soldier. And they said it
Uh,
was very
huh.
graphic, very, how could they even come up with this stuff? Yeah, it's shocking, but it's not that shocking.
I mean, it's kind of to some extent what actually happens.
That's true.
Like, this game is, for one, not actually just promoting violence and military. It kind of shows you the bad sides to it as well. It's not just glorification.
Yeah, no, but this is not like, and I've seen this thrown around how like, oh, the events are being changed where Americans are the good guys and all that, and like that may be the case to tell the story, but there's a scene where they get back from a big mission, and all of a sudden America is just putting our allies, the freedom fighters on the list to be killed, even though they
Yeah,
just helped us big time. And yeah, thanks for your service. If we see you on the battlefield, we're gonna kill you. Like that's a dick move right there. So, and then yeah, the CIA lady freaking out after like every other thing Price did. So yeah, Americans might be portrayed kind of as the hero here, but also they're shown to be a bit of an asshole.
yeah, because the Americans pulled out they pulled out of what's it called? They told the Alex in quotes, as I put it, that
Yes.
we're pulling you guys out. You guys are done. He's like, what do you mean? There's still people. And then he chose to go back in there, and she was like, well, then technically you're not with us.
Yeah, it's like I mean, obviously the CIA does their own things, but you always hear how the CIA does whatever they want. But when you actually see it in person, it is fucked up when you think about it. So I'm happy the game does show a bit of that, at least. Did you have any complaints about the story?
Yeah, I got one complaint. Veterans actually not that hard.
Okay,
I guess that's what they have realism for, but
that's true. What do you feel they could do to make it harder? Less checkpoints?
yeah, less checkpoints. I mean, they
Okay,
make the game simple. That's the thing. Like this isn't a hard platinum to get by any means. I think the original Call of Duty was a lot more difficult to get that platinum for, even though there was a glitch that I know both you and me had used
yes.
to get the veteran done, because veteran in that game was fucking fierce. You were not surviving that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was back in the days of that in World of War, where the enemies would just constantly respawn unless you just forced your way up, but you couldn't
So
because you get shot to death.
this one you kind of have to clear out enemies and then you can move up, and there's so many checkpoints. So like
Yeah,
it's a good thing,
yeah.
but
No, this is definitely. So I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm working on the veteran campaign, and I agree with you. I love the Black Ops series, but my main issue for them is I can never platinum it because their veteran has always been a bit harder, and then you always have the zombie trophy bullshit. So this game doesn't have zombies, but there's not even zombie or multiplayer trophies. If you can do everything in the campaign,
there is
you'll get your
spec
platinum.
op trophies though.
There's one,
There-
but that doesn't mean for the platinum. So for PlayStation
That's
people, doesn't matter.
that is true.
But for Xbox, yeah, you need the 100%. You're going to have to get that one Spec Ops trophy. But for the actual plot wise, I did have an issue with the ending. I felt that was rushed.
Why?
Well, I just feel like, especially with quote Alex having his death, I would have liked to seen at least where
Oh,
more people
oh,
recognize that he died. Now,
I think that's for a reason.
we'll get into your reason for a minute, but personally, if they're going to make the fact that he's dead, you should hype that up more and have a somber moment or two to
Yeah,
hone the point that he is dead. Price is sad, Farah is sad, and let's move on.
I think
But
Farrah would be the most sad. I don't think Price
I
would
mean,
really care that
but I think
much.
she's the only one that was somewhat sad because that's the only one we saw be sad.
It's true.
Even the CIA lady, right, who did kind of like Alex, right? She was his boss. Nothing. But
Yeah,
Mike, you have a theory about Alex now. What is it?
I do. It's not just my theory, but it is the theory of some people amongst my community who believe Alex is actually Ghost. Now, at the end, of course, spoilers here. At the end, Price is making his Task Force 141, and you're hearing a whole bunch of comeback names, being Soap. You find out Kyle Garrick was actually Gaz the whole time.
You've been playing as Gaz the entire time.
Yeah.
Nice twist
Um,
too.
yeah, it was. So, and then they also mentioned Simon Riley, and she's like, "Oh, no picture," and he's like, "Yeah, there's no pictures of this guy ever." So, here's the thing: a lot of people are thinking Alex is Ghost because we never see Alex die. He's technically not dead on screen. He's killed off screen, but
It's
even
true.
then, we don't know if he's actually dead
Mm-hmm.
because Farrah never brings it up again. The
Yep.
CIA doesn't acknowledge it. Captain Price doesn't acknowledge it. Nobody acknowledges it. And you don't even hear Captain Price or Gaz at the end when he's saying, "I'm not making it out of here." And they're like, "All right." Like, you don't hear Captain Price say anything. You don't hear Gaz say anything. So I think low key they helped him get out. And
Well,
he's
see,
now.
Did he say that though? Because I remember like, oh, he's ready to blow the charges. So Price and guys were assuming that, okay, he's out, let's go. Because that's why I really thought not having a scene after of them learning he's dead hurt it a bit. So I thought I didn't hear him say, I can't make it out. Like
No,
Farah
he's
knows.
he says it right at the end before he blows it up, and he
Okay,
says,
all
"I
right, I'm gonna
can't
have to
get
listen to
out."
that
And
then.
Charlie goes, "All right, blow it."
All right, I'm gonna have to listen to that because if you're talking about the scene where Farah's on the chopper and he says
Yeah.
that, then yeah, then that makes it more suspicious. But then also to add to your theory, we saw today now on the official Call of Duty site for the games, they had main characters up on a screen, like, posters and all that. And the only one that has quotes around their name is Alex.
Yep.
The CIA lady also mentions that, it's either her or Alex mentions that, not really my real name, use different names because I am CIA. So who's to say his real name isn't Simon Riley?
It's true.
Who's to say? Maybe the CIA was in on this and was like, okay, if you get the chance to get out of here by yourself, do so, and you're going to be on your next mission by yourself, new identity. So maybe that's the case. We don't know.
It's possible, but then on the flip side, wouldn't the CIA lady know his real name?
That's true. Well, we're assuming she knows more about him than we know she does.
Yes.
Unless he was just brought in and she was also given a fake name. And that's what's great about Ghost. Even though he's been in it for one game, is there's multiple layers you can write about this dude.
Yep. Alex is a ghost.
He could be. Before we go on to multiplayer, what do you think of the setup for the sequel? We now have the old Task Force 141. We have Zakaya's son making moves,
Yep.
and we have Al-Assad coming back as a modern terrorist. So it seems like they're taking a lot of elements from Modern Warfare 1 again. Because in Modern
Yeah.
Warfare 1, Al-Assad is the leader. Zakaya's son was like a loser, in like the typical like Adidas pants and sweatpants, died in one mission. He's now becoming a heavy, looks like the main antagonist, possibly. So that would be interesting. But I am wondering how they're going to keep this fresh because they obviously, for now anyway, keeping away from Makarov, which I think is smart. He had his two full games. But we both spent quite a bit of time now the past few days over on multiplayer, another big part of Call of Duty. Obviously, since it's Modern Warfare game, there are no jetpacks, there are no special abilities, there's no jumping around like jackrabbits. So, Mike, do you appreciate these changes and bringing it back to some classic Call of Duty gameplay?
I do. I really do.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
The sliding thing is still taking some getting used to.
It is, but I do find it better than the dolphin dive people used to do.
Yeah.
It makes more realistic that you would slide across the floor and not just jump belly first onto a ground. But yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying it too. It's same style as the old Modern Warfare games, but there have been quite a few issues with the game as well.
Yeah, the spawning, that's still
Yep.
needs to be worked.
Spawning on some maps, especially Piccadilly, is straight up broken. So if you're doing a
Yep.
team deathmatch and you get cornered into one side of you can just camp there. Like it's not a bad thing for you because you can hide behind cars and people got to come to you. There are other maps where yeah, spawning is just broken, but the main issue is camping.
It's
Now,
true.
camping's been like a joking like dick move for Call of Duty for years now. It's been a common thing. But this year it seems to be a lot worse because it seems like the maps and the gameplay right now, it encourages you to camp. If you run and gun, you're gonna die quick. And I think camping with the combination of a shotgun stat with crazy range,
Yeah,
yeah,
that one shotgun is ridiculous.
it is. So there's a good foundation here for over the next few months to have a great multiplayer with more maps. Because the gameplay itself, when it works, it's great. Feels great. The gun sounds, the moving around, it's all good. But there's that. There's that personal radar you get that I don't even know what it does.
Yeah, the personal
Does seem kind
radar,
of useless.
it doesn't really work. That I've noticed. Like,
I mean, my recommendation is as soon as you get the UAV, just switch to that and work on the 4 kills for that. It'll be a lot more useful.
yeah.
So, Mike, do you have any personal favorite weapons you like to use in multiplayer that maybe others would like to use?
Uh,
I
well,
need that stand out because we've been both been doing the weapon master mission, so we've been trying out different guns.
yes, I am a huge fan of the M4. I think it is still.
Yeah, the M4.
the M4, and I'm starting to really like the basically what would be the M14, the EBR or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I would recommend the M4 as well. I know for a lot of people that pre-ordered, you kind of got a specialized version right off the bat. So
And
immediately
it's
getting a mid-tier gun when your first few levels, it's a huge bonus. Feels good. So for new players who don't have that, if you can work your way up to an M4, definitely. And definitely would recommend doing the missions and the daily challenges. You'll get stuff that would be useful later on. But Mike, do you have any other thoughts about Modern Warfare? Seems like we cover a lot. We haven't. We both haven't played Spec Ops, so we're kind of just avoiding that right now. But word online is that it's not good, so Matt will be
really
waiting on that. Yeah.
that's a shame.
Apparently, they did not do enough testing. Either the matches don't work, or it's too difficult. And yeah, people have been having issues with that, and it seems to be tacked on last minute. So probably stay away from that for a while.
That's unfortunate because they clearly say the story continues there.
Yeah, yeah, no, they add that post credit scene like a movie right at the end credits, and for anyone that tries, apparently it's not a good time.
Goddamn shame.
But otherwise, this overall between campaign and multiplayer is a very solid Call of Duty game overall. It is the best in years, and so far, early sales figures shown it is the best selling one this console generation. So that makes it the past 6 years. So people are obviously responding very well, and I just hope to keep updating it with maps as they're supposed to. Maybe that rumored battle royale mode comes out. Should be a good time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And if anyone has actually played Modern Warfare already and has some thoughts about it, Mike, where could they let us know about it?
Well, you guys have always plethora of options to let us know. First one being our email, which is entertainmentexpansion@outlook.com. Second is our Instagram page. Feel free to leave a comment, send us a direct message, whatever tickles your fancy. I believe this will be on YouTube. If not, fuck it. Come on, check out our YouTube channel, which is also Entertainment Expansion, where we talk about a whole bunch of movies, what's going on in the entertainment world. As always, we will look forward from hearing from you.
That's right. And we got all types of movie discussions up there, and we will most likely continue that next week. But for now, enjoy this little video game stop. And that will be it for this week's episode of Entertainment Expansion. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.